Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Baruch Hashem, we've been talking about the topic of kavod, but this is not about kavod at all. Okay, there's something that's always been on my mind, and when we learned it in class, you guys didn't seem to care, and the whole yeshiva should care. But the Aseres HaDibros, the Ten Commandments, are found in
Shema.
Shema. Very, very good. Wonderful videographer. They are found also in Parashat Yisrael and Parashat Zakheim, but they're found in Shema. They're hinted to. The one that always bothered me, and didn't bother you guys in class, even when I said it bothers me, was the one that corresponds to Lo Yisirtzach, do not murder, which is the words Va'avatem Mehera, that you will be totally decimated and destroyed. First of all, the pasuk over there is talking about you'll be totally decimated and destroyed. Seems to be talking about Avodah Zarah. Right, the whole thing seems to be talking about Avodah Zarah, but okay. But why is it that why does that have to do with? What does it have to do with being murdered? Right, you murder, therefore Va'avatem Mehera. That is a reference. You'll be totally decimated, totally destroyed. It's talking about older Jewish people kicked out of Israel. What is the connection at all to murdering? So I suppose there are many answers, but the one that just hit me in my mind was the Mishnah Ovis. The Mishnah Ovis says that Hillel once saw he saw a skull hanging out in the water. And then he said, because whenever you see skulls in the water, the first thing is you always have like a deep thought. Whenever I see a skull, oh look, another head bobbing along in the water. So he said, Al da'atef da'atifuch, because you were drowned, or because you're floating there, because you were drowned, because you drowned someone else rather, you were drowned. V'gam matifayach yutufun, and also those who caused you to drown, or caused you to be floating over here in the water, they will also be drowned. First of all, I think they call this an endless loop, right? If you were drowned because you drowned somebody, and those who drowned you will also be drowned, this will never end, right? Because the first person ever also must have drowned somebody. The first person who ever was found in the water must have also drowned somebody. I think that's Yantiv asks. Hold on, Cain was the first killer, so the first killer would also end up. I mean, Cain rather killed Hevel. Right. So who did Hevel kill? Oh. Like Hevel should be, that this whole cycle should go on. It's a very long test on this mission of this. But the point is that it seems like an endless loop. That's the first thing. The second thing is that what does that have to do with Pirkei Avos? Pirkei Avos is mostly about Musar teachings. This one seems to be an Emunah teaching. It's almost like another mission of his, which is called Safoi V'Ershus, that when a person, that you should know that Hashem knows everything and still you have Bechira, which also seems to be questionable as to why it's in Pirkei Avos when most of them are about Musar. Well, how you should act better. You know that a guy who killed will be killed, so therefore you too.
If you kill, you're going to.
Yeah, just don't kill anybody. Don't drown anybody in the river because your head might be next. It's a little strange, but at the very least, it gets to this point of the mission of the pasuk of Va'avata Mehera, that a person who kills, they will be killed. And if there's one thing we learn from it, is a person should be paying attention to life, and a person should know that when things happen to you, it is absolutely appropriate to look at exactly what happened to you and try to think back, what did I do wrong that contributed to this happening in the first place, right? If you stubbed your toe, you should try to think. The first thing you should think about is, what have I been doing with my feet lately that I deserve to get a patch here because Hashem wants me to pay attention. Whenever it's Midah Keneged Midah, what's the point of Midah Keneged Midah? The point of Midah Keneged Midah is, one point of it is that you should be able to look back at what happened to you. Let's say a person hurt their arm. You should be able to think about, what did I do? What did I do with my arm that I could have done better, perhaps, right? Did I give somebody a major pat on the back?
No.
Did I give somebody too hard of a pat on the back? When I was in Shir with my Rabbi, there was a guy, I don't want to say his name is, but there was a certain guy, the Shir was an older guy, and whenever anybody said anything in Shir, major slap on the back. Yay, buddy-o! That's what he would do. Whenever the guy, it became such a thing in the Shir, every single guy who said something used to get smashed on the back. Every single time. That was like the whole thing. Yeah? I don't know the end of the story is like, and now he's walking with no arms. He's a very, very wonderful. Well, he was doing it to the house of the guys. I don't know what's the right thing to do. But I'm just trying to give something to think about what's pshat in Va'avata Mehera and the connection to Lo Yisirtzach. Perhaps it's to give us a feeling of Midah Keneged Midah, and that would help us in the connection to Pirkei Avos. That would help us develop ourselves to feel an understanding of what we can do better, how we could be better all the time, and we should never let these things just go straight over our head. Have a wonderful day.